Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. This is Naaman with the DC Camp, Great Millstone, back with another video. But first and foremost, call hello Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakahawadash. And once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. So I like to send salutations out to the fellow Akim that are out there. All right. Out there on the highways and the byways, pushing the truth across four corners of this earth. All right, wow, the time that we have left, we're trying to wake up the remaining hopefully leg. All right, so once again, hey, more and more people, and this guy here is in jolly old England. All right, so he's across the pond, and he's going to tell you how they're left in the dark. You know, America is about, like we've said, this is the revived Roman Empire. You know, this whole beast system, which the military arm of it is America. For those of you that don't quite, well, a lot of you seeing it now, but everything we said, I mean, Great Millstone has said in the past about what actually was going on. What we were met with, oh, that's conspiracy theory, blah, 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 blah. But now you see that the scoffers don't scoff so much anymore, especially as loudly as they once did, or as proudly as they once did. What's up with that? Could it be that you see it and you're so proud that you can't say, well, you know, I'm a bigger man and better man for it. I see what you guys are talking about now, and damn it, you were right. No. No. You're not going to do that. All right. But your silence speaks volumes. We get it. But in any case, this state of Israel, as it's known as, knows how to choose their words very carefully. And that's what these snakes do, you know. But in any case, let's go ahead and roll this beautiful footage here, because, see, when we say it, you think we're scatterbrains and, you know, again, conspiracy theories and whatever have you. But again, more and more people are saying exactly what we've been saying all along. So here we go.
Gaza has changed everything. The genocide there is a genocide made in America, and people can see it. The empire has never been this exposed. From the moment we're born, we're told the United States represents freedom, democracy, and human rights. All that is American as apple pie, except it's a lie. Anywhere hope springs up, the United States will be not far behind to try and extinguish that hope. How can you think that the United States isn't an empire? It has a military budget, which is the same as
the revived Roman Empire as it was. All right, this whole system, starting with the EU, when you trace its roots after the Second World War, Korean War from 50 to 53, and then in 57 and 58, when the EU was established, you know, there you go. See, it's all in the scriptures about you remember the statue that Daniel was talking about, and you got at the very bottom where you got the 10 toes, miry clay, iron. Well, let's go to that. I don't want to butcher it. Let's go to that real quick. Let's see. Daniel, hold on. There we go. Let's go all the way down. Let's see. Here it is. Thou sawest till, this start 34, that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them to pieces. And that's currently what's happening now. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together and became like the chaff. Let's go further up. All right. Daniel interprets the dream. Thou, O king, sawest and behold a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. Let's go. So you can get a, let's see. Hold on. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Dream. I think. Oops. I might have to reword it. Here it is. Statue of Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Let's see. A head of gold representing the Babylonian Empire. Arms, chest of silver. Medo-Persian. Belly and thighs of bronze. The Greek. Legs of iron symbolizing the Roman Empire. Feet of clay and iron and clay representing a divided, fragmented, and ultimately unstable kingdom or empire, which is what we have now. Now I want to get you the, let's see, is this it? Let's see, do they have images? Let's see, here it is, right here. All right, see the feet? Because everybody's divided now, especially now. All right, let's see if we can get a better, all right, here we go. See? And you notice that each empire, according to the value of the metal, you start out with gold, the most precious. Then what? Then silver. All right. And then what you got here? You got what? The bronze, and then the iron, and now the feet. What you got? Here goes another one. Oh, we don't get the bottom of that. Dang it. But hopefully you get the idea. All right. So now this shit is coming apart. All right. Because the feet represent division. Everything's falling apart for these devils. All right. Again, this prophecy will be fulfilled. All right. And the Most High, His word does not go out and then come back void. It will accomplish what it set out to do. All right. That's Isaiah 55th chapter.
The next 10 countries combined. It has 750 bases in every corner of the globe. In Britain, we are completely controlled by the United States. And we have 12,000 troops across 11 so-called RAF bases, which are actually American bases. And we, the British people, are not allowed to know anything that goes on those US bases in Britain. I tried to request information from the British government about whether the US was using its sites in Britain to transfer weapons to Israel for their genocide in Gaza, and was told, we don't comment on allies.
This, at the end of the day, it all traces back to so-called white supremacy. If you notice throughout history, because you go back to and that's why when I'm just going to, I have a little book called, damn it, it follows the history of Vietnam. And what a lot of people don't know, Vietnam actually started, at least the Vietnam War aspect started right after World War II. They started shipping troops in what was then known as Indochina. And the people, like the merchant marines at the time, were like, what the hell are we doing? We just finished World War, I think, when was it? August of 45, after they dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and then September. Then October, I believe, is when they started with the transportation of materials and going on. And like, what the hell's going on? So, and then in 54 was that big deal with them running or defeating the French. I'll just put it that way. And then it was after then that good old America had to get it. Because they'll tell you, well, America's involvement started in, what was it, 64? No. We're talking about late 50s. All right, so, and then the thing with Mossadegh and Iran, all he wanted to do is nationalize his oil. No, that was that was too much because America had plans, or you should say, to be more accurate, the elites of Edom had other plans. All right, and supposedly that was what was formerly known as the OSS, Office of Strategic Services, World War II, but then it changed to become what we know as the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. And in 53/54, I don't want to say 53, was when that shit happened with them deposing Mossadegh and installing the Shah, in other words, a puppet leader in Iran. And you wonder why those people despise this place? It's not because that this place, like they always tell you in school, is so righteous that everybody else is evil. No. When you research American foreign policy, yeah, then you'll start to understand. And that culminated in late 70s under the Carter administration, where the hostages were taken, all right, in the embassy there. So that's why that was their response, because they got tired of bullshit. All right. So now we have just an extension of, again, Edomite supremacy and what is to be called the State of Israel. And that's all that's been going on since the late 40s. All right. And them people, you can't, why are you not understanding what the hell's going on as far as, those people have a right to be pissed? Hell yeah. Because they're being treated like animals. All right. But the thing is, none of them belong there. That's not their land. All right. So let's go ahead and continue. But he's just going to tell you what I've just told you. But again, you won't listen to what we say. So it's good to have, others tell you the same thing.
Allies' actions within Britain. An amazing black hole in British democracy and transparency. But that is because we are a vassal state of the United States. The Roman Empire, the Mongol Empire, the British Empire, none of them came close to having the reach and power of the American Empire today. The United States has never not been an empire. From the moment the British colonists set up James...
Again, as was prophesied. As was prophesied. What do you think it's talking about when it goes into Revelation 17th chapter? All right. The great whore. Everybody comes over here and sleeps with the whore and gets what they want. But they do have to do certain things. It's like, what was that movie? Needful Things? The late, what was his name? Damn it, the actor. He was a good actor too. I might have to look it up. I can't remember. Is it? Shit, I'm not going to even try it. Let me get this first. Revelation 17. What is it talking about? The great prostitute and the beast. Who's the great prostitute? That's America. And the beast is the whole system. Here it is. Let me see. I'll just start at the top. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. All right, and this is John the Revelator here. It says, With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Democracy. Democracy. Wherever we go, we spread democracy. And people are so sick of that because what comes with that? They're finally showing their true colors. Especially with Jake countries over there in Africa. They're trying to get them to accept homosexuality and protect those that go that way. Otherwise, you don't get any assistance from us. Now, what kind of bullshit is that? So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit up on a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy. That's all they do here in America. They want you to have your children sit in kindergarten and first, whatever, how many grades they, and listen to drag queens and other demented individuals read stories to them and tell them about their lifestyles. And I just covered a story about up in Canada where they did this, and it had to be a drag thing. All right. It says, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Golden cup. Where else was that prophesied? Let's go to Jeremiah 51. The utter destruction of Babylon. Let's go on down here for time's sake. Please read it from the beginning. Verse 7. In fact, verse 6, it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Most High Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Why? For all the shit, some of it, which I just mentioned, only a tiny, tiny fraction of the wickedness this place has done. But Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Most High Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. Drunken how? Are we talking about wine that you drink, that you get inebriated with, pass out and piss on yourself? No, it's talking about doctrine and philosophy. Aha! Democracy. How about that? The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. We're tired of this goddamn homo bullshit and this other shit, feminism and all this other crazy shit. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. All right, and in Revelation 18, all right, it goes more into that. So let me finish with 17. And where did I leave off? Let's go. Let's see. I'll read 4 again. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of the abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. When everybody else looks at America, this is what they see. All right, and lately, I can't give you I'm going to just go out here and say almost past 30 years, they've pushed Jake out there at the forefront of all this bullshit, especially when it comes to the music industry. All right. And of course, we've always been made to be clowns, and as far as television and the movies go. But with this rap shit, that took it even further, and then now it's just more because they get these, they establish these plants in the industry. People like Sexy Red, really no talent whatsoever, just push that that degeneracy on our people, especially. It says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites. It's been nothing but a steady slaughter of our people since we were brought over here on the shores and the land of America. And with our people, Gad, and in this hemisphere, and the northern kingdoms, all right, even before, roughly maybe 130 years or so before we were brought here, by my calculations, All right. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. So here, John the Revelator is like, oh, he's getting, he's liking and starting to like what he see. And the angel said to me, and the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, and which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition or destruction. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. All right, and it goes into, describing, giving you a history lesson here. All right, so let's continue on the video.
Jamestown in 1607, up till now, they've been expanding. Initially, it was expanding westwards to cleanse what became the national territory, wiping out the Native Americans, putting them onto reservations, tricking them to sign treaties which deprived them of their land and resources. Yeah. And then in 1890, the internal frontier was closed. Soon after, the Spanish-American War started, after which the Americans took on a number of Spanish imperial possessions, and that's when the American Empire globally started. Part of the reason that the American Empire is hard to see is it doesn't operate like historical empires. It does have some former colonies, but it doesn't have loads. It's not like the British Empire. What it operates is an open door empire, where if a government does not allow US corporate and financial interests to penetrate their market in exactly the way they want, they'll come in and take them out, either through a war or through subterfuge done by their vast intelligence apparatus. We've seen this.
Something else we here have told you for the longest. All right, let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Dang it. Let's see. The hell? Let's see. Hold on. Salakia. Did I have something before that? Dang it. This guy, let me see. How was it phrased? Confessions. Let's see. Of an economic hit man. Let's see. Here it is. All right. Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins. And it says the book provides Perkins' account of his career with engineering consulting firm. I'm just going to say Chastity, Maine, in Boston. Perkins claims that the NSA arranged for him to be hired by the firm and that he was subsequently seduced and trained as an economic hitman by a businesswoman named Claudine Martin, who worked for this firm. Perkins writes that his primary role at the firm was to convince leaders of underdeveloped countries to accept substantial development loans for large construction and engineering projects. This is how the devil works, thus trapping them in a system of American influence and control. All right. So there you go.
Countless times throughout history, from the coup against Iranian democracy in 1953 to the coup against Chilean democracy in 1973 to the attempted coup against Venezuelan democracy in 2002 to the successful coup against Bolivian democracy in 2019. History is littered with examples of leaders who try to give the resources of their countries back to the people, and the United States and its allies come in and take them out. When the Soviet Union was defeated, the new war was the war on drugs. And actually, the war on drugs was just a way for the United States to have another excuse to station a military personnel in Latin America and other places in East Asia. In somewhere like Bolivia, when Evo Morales kicked out the DEA, production of coca went right down. The drug war has nothing to do with drugs. It's about enforcing US imperial control.
There you go.
And that's the case to today. After that, we had the war on terror, where Islamic terrorism was the enemy of the day. And then we had Putin, and now we have China. You're sold all these new enemies. But the point is not to vanquish the enemy. The point is we have to have an enemy to justify our increased control and penetration of the globe.
There you go.
We're constantly told to be scared of China and its rise to superpower status. I'm not saying China's spreading its power around the world for altruistic purposes. It is an imperial power, but it has a different way of going about things than the Americans. It does not invade countries which don't do what they're told. It does not have an archipelago of bases around the world. In fact, it only has one overseas base in Djibouti. The brutal US and UK-backed war in Yemen, which created the world's worst humanitarian crisis, was promptly brought to a close when the Chinese got involved. And look at how they brought Saudi Arabia and Iran, two sworn enemies, to the negotiating table and successfully got them to sign peace accords. That goes against everything we're told about how the world works. We're told it's the United States that is the great peacemaker. It's the United States that is a neutral arbiter, and it's the United States that wants to spread peace and democracy. It's the opposite of the truth. The United States does not apply any values, any principles to its overseas conduct. The only principle it worships is control and power. But the American empire is failing. Look at Colombia. For decades, it was called the Israel of Latin America, the most heavily controlled US satellite state in Latin America. It recently elected its first ever socialist president, Gustavo Petro, who has been one of the most vocal supporters for Palestine and against the genocide in Gaza.
Hoy tenemos 20,000 niños y niñas asesinados bajo las bombas y los presidentes de los países de la destrucción humana se ríen en estos pasillos. Con ayuda.
Simply put, all right, everyone's not in line with this false narrative that the people, all right, in Western Asia have been pushing. They see right through that shit now. We're victims. We're constantly enemies on all sides. Doesn't work anymore. And of course, the U.S. always coming to their aid. Wow. All right. So that narrative does not work anymore. And these people are scared shitless. All right.
Con ayuda del poder de comunicación de los medios mundiales que hoy están en propiedad de los grandes capitales, el control de la humanidad sobre la base de la barbarie está en construcción.
That's why we're trying to tell Jake, this is the time to repent now. All right, while things haven't gone to shit. And literally, it could be a matter of days. Today is, it's Saturday now. It just turned over. So you got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 days and a wake up before this election. All right, and if you think this is going to be a cakewalk, no, they're already preparing. They're already setting up, putting troops in place, erecting barriers here in D.C., around the Capitol and in the White House and all this. They've been doing exercises. So shit's getting ready to pop off here. And who knows? You know, they got to set up this digital system. So money as you know it is about to be done away with. That's going to cause wholesale panic. All right. So they're planning for a rebellion here. Sedition even. 2 Ezra 15th chapter. We've been saying that. All right. Because these democrats, the slaves that they could always depend on, all right, to be behind them, ain't like that. That's why they brought out all the big gun. Barack Obama. All these piece of shit entertainers that they prop up to keep Jake in a stupor. All right. Ex-presidents. All this shit, and motherfuckers are divided. heavily divided to the point where you got women coming out talking about fuck black men. I'm talking about Jakes, of course. I hope they die. I hope the police shoot them down in the street. I kid you not. Yes. But we always said the woman is our enemy. You know, that tag team of Esau and and Eve, double E. You know, back to the video. But again, going back, all these little simple scriptures like, this isn't our rest. This was never meant to be our rest. Micah 2:10. And this devil is being exposed. Tell about 2 Thessalonians 2nd chapter. All right. Again, I was just reading Revelation 17th chapter, and 18th chapter it goes further into it about this place's destruction and how, all right, her sins have reached up to the heavens. All right. So it's that time. It is that time. We know that because of the signs that are the signs in the heavens, all right, as well as those here on earth. Yes, it does say no one, not even the Lord, Yahweh Shai, the Son, knows the exact date. But what did he say in Matthew 24th chapter? The signs. You will know by these signs that the time is near. All right.
Y su demostración es Gaza, el Líbano. Cuando muera Gaza, morirá la humanidad toda.
That shows that the US does not have the control it once had. Once upon a time, they would have destroyed Petro before he got into power. Petro is a dedicated environmentalist who has made expanding healthcare to the poorest his signature issue. This is what the empire hates. They do not want to see power taken away from the small elite which does their bidding in that country. Don't get me wrong, American ideals are great. I just wished the American government lived up to them. And the point is, the American people themselves are lied to.
And we're the prime example of that. We are the biggest example of that. That they try to, all of a sudden their heads are in the sand when it comes to us.
Continually about what their government does. And the American people have a long history of standing on the side of justice against some of the awful crimes their government has committed. Look at the Vietnam War in the 60s and 70s. Americans very quickly can become animated about what their government is doing and try to stop it. And there are mechanisms within the United States for them to do it. But there is an imperial elite which runs Washington, and it runs it through the Democrats and it runs it through the Republicans.
Yep. Because they are puppets. Let's get that scripture. All right. And our people, especially Jake, have been so caught up in, believing in this shit. And you have to ask yourself, why? This is 2 Peter 2. I'll start at 18. And of course, you go up here and it tells you what? False prophets and teachers. Verse 18, it says, for when they speak great swelling words of vanity, in this case, it's your politicians, all right, your so-called leaders that make all these empty promises. And for our people, they are exactly that, empty, just to get your vote. You don't get anything. Everybody else gets something except for us. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh. Yes, they promise you all these things, and with Jake, it ain't even too much. Well, we'll give you a statue. What else? What other kind of bullshit? Anything but the right thing. Like it says at the end of Isaiah 42:22, it said, "None saith restore." All right, they want us in this. Psalms 83 also. They want us. In this lower state, all right. 19, while they promise, let me read it again. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness. Let's see, wantonness. Meaning licentiousness, something including other vices, filthy. And you're seeing that more now with these, they propping up these ratchet ass rappers, you know, and they got the latest one that just dropped, what, Sexy, whatever that, Sexy Red with her ass in the air, talking about, you know, for Kamala Harris, you know. Oh, man. Wantonness. All right. Anyway, through much wantonness, those that were clean escape from them who live in error. 19, here's the point. While they promise them liberty, meaning they're promising us, they themselves are the servants of corruption. For of whom a man is overcome, of the same is he brought in bondage. All right. And someone did, oh, it was beautiful. They asked, I'm trying to remember how they did it. They ask you, of a certain profession, who would you think this would identify with? And they ran off a list of crimes, drug abuse, drug dealing, domestic violence, all kinds of other shit. And people were like, oh, it's got to be NBA players. Oh, it's got to be NFL players. Why? Because most of them are Jake, right? No, it was members of Congress. Let's finish this out.
Those parties are parties of the empire. The people living up to noble American ideals of democracy and justice are the student protesters sweeping campuses in the United States. They are standing up to say, we do not want a government which supports genocide, which supports the obliteration of a people. Gaza has changed everything. The empire has never been this exposed. The media which covers for it has never been this exposed. The door is now ajar. We have to kick it in. These are just some of the areas covered in my new book, The Racket, A Rogue Reporter vs. the US Empire, which is an account of all the reporting I did for the Financial Times in Washington, New York, and around the world on how the US empire operates. So if you want a genuinely independent media which takes on these big issues which the corporate media and mainstream media don't cover, join Double Down News on Patreon. It's important.
Again, the prophecies are on point. What does it say in Jeremiah 49th chapter? And this is part of that where exposing who's who. 49 and let's see, 20. It says, therefore hear the counsel of the Most High Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom, the so-called white man, especially the elites, the banking elites, the families that actually rule this world, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman, again, talking about Edom, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Who are we talking about? Those professing to be the Jews. All right. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. All right. And they're drawing everybody in there. Always their favorite lapdog is America. No matter what these pieces of shit do over there, there's America right there. So, as he stated, this is what's aiding in them being so exposed, because clearly everybody's seeing these people can't defend themselves over there. Now this country is handing out, well, I'm saying, aiding them in this whole Ukraine thing. All this, as someone else has stated, is a means of them to launder huge sums of money, which the people over here need more than them. All that Ukraine bullshit is nothing but a lie. They attacked Russian citizens over there in that region. That's why Russia acted the way they did. It wasn't the other way around. And it's so much proof of that. All right. Here, America jumped on the bandwagon trying to start shit as usual. The great instigators. All right. Because those people are the same people that occupy the land of Israel. So in a way, they get to double dip. America sends all the aid that people over here really need, because they really screwed those people in North Carolina, Western North Carolina. All right. And ultimately, they want them off that land. All right. Not that I care. All right. Because as it was proven, most of those places that were hit like that were sundown towns. And you keep seeing, if you're paying attention to the news, more people, especially when it comes to truckers, are ending up unalived. But you don't hear that in the news. You have to go to social media. They're not no, they won't dare do that. Something actually is happening, and the FBI reports keep saying that we're the most targeted people for violence, and yet you still see this shit about these fake Israelites, these Israelis. Why? Because it's an agenda. It always has been. Psalms 83 again. But now that we're on the scene and we're exposing who's who, oh, now you're anti-Semitic? No. How can I be anti? What the hell does that even mean? The word doesn't exist. All right. So, yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Once again, I hope whoever views these, this one in particular, is edified as to what is going on in this world. Because trust me when I say, and more importantly, what prophecies are saying, time is very short, people. I was not being dramatic when I told you it could be 3 days in the wake up away from all just anarchy. All right. So get your shit in order. So with that, until the next video, shalom.